Well, TikTok's future in the U.S. is still up in the air. That's because the federal appeals court refused to block a law that would ban the app in January.
The current law says that TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, must sell the app or face being banned. TikTok was hoping to prove to the courts that the ban is unconstitutional and violates First Amendment rights. Joining us now to discuss what's next is Chris Pearson, CEO of cybersecurity company Black Cloak. Welcome.
Good morning.
Can you break down the court's reasoning for upholding this law?
Absolutely. A three-judge panel of the Federal Appeals Court decided unanimously that they were going to uphold the law. They really thought for a few different reasons. Number one, that Congress had actually acted to protect people from a foreign nation. This was also very much so a bipartisan effort by Congress and also across two different administrations. So they thought that it was well-reasoned. They thought that the threat there from China in terms of being able to influence Americans, be able to use their information behind the scenes, that those are both confounding influences. And as a result, they chose to uphold it.
Now, Donald Trump says he does not want to ban TikTok when he takes office on the 20th of January. How could he stop this ban from happening?
Yeah, so what's very, very interesting is that by January 19th, so day before President Trump takes office, TikTok, ByteDance must be sold or divested. Well, what actually is probably going to happen most recently is that there's going to be an appeal into the Supreme Court of the United States. There will be some type of a stay that happens. How long that takes place is up to everyone's guess. But what then next could happen is, as if this does stretches into the Trump's presidency, Trump could try to go ahead and work with Congress to repeal the law. He could actually go ahead and try to examine different changes that ByteDance or TikTok make to their structure, to their organization, and actually, under the law, say that this actually serves as a qualified divestiture and go ahead and have that marked off as such. In that case, it would basically be up to the president to say this actually is a qualified divestiture, and then courts would have to go ahead and reinterpret what that is.
So what does this really now mean for TikTok and the millions who use the app come January if it were to be banned?
Well, I mean, right now, 170 million Americans are using TikTok. For those people that currently have the app on their phone, it will be no change. If this ban does go into effect and it's January 20th, what that would mean is that the stores, Apple Store or Google Play Store, would not be able to go ahead and offer the app for new download, for updates, for patching. And so anyone who currently has the app would be able to use it for some period of time. Of course, obviously, in about a year or so, it would be stale. What it also means, though, is something a little more sinister, is that it is possible that the app could be offered not through Apple and Google directly, but through other websites in what's called side-loaded apps, which really decrease the security and protections that you have on your phone because you're downloading software from an unauthorized source. So what happens next is anyone's guess, but for right now, TikTok will definitely be available up until January 19th.
But let's say something does happen and it's not legally. What type of recourse does TikTok have? Do they have a case here?
Well, unless the Supreme Court decides to go ahead and take up this appeal, or once it's filed, really it's the end of the road for them. So the Supreme Court could actually say, hey, we're actually not going to go ahead and review this on cert. Cert will be denied. Supreme Court could decide to take this up on appeal and then allow for TikTok to actually exist while it reviews the merits of the case. And of course, then the Supreme Court to decide that it agrees with the Federal Appeals Court or not. And from there, divestiture would either have to occur or the actual use of the TikTok app offered through the Play stores would then go ahead and be banned.
Chris Pearson, CEO of Black Cloak, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
And you can find all of our reporting following the TikTok ban on our website, cbsnewyork.com.